Hey everyone, welcome back to another handheld news recap. We're going to take a look at a few updates today, including the AOKZOE A1X. We'll also talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 that was just announced, where we got all the information, the price, availability, as well as some impacts of the tariffs that are possibly going to be hitting the US. We'll talk about the MSi Claw stock shortage, specifically for the Claw 8 AI Plus, as well as look at some updates for the Steam Deck. And lastly, we'll talk about our highlighted product, which is the ABXYLUTE C8. It's probably going to be a bit of a shorter one today, so let's not waste any more time and let's dive into it. We'll start things off with our quick news, and first up is the AOKZOE A1X. So this is a device that is going to be coming, I think, in about like 2 to 3 weeks, at least from the last conversation I had with the rep. And it's going to have an HX370, which is the latest APU. You'll find that in the 1X Fly, the 1X, the INEO 3. It has an 8-inch VRR display that's going to be native landscape. It's going to have an Oculink port as well as a 72 watt-hour battery. Something else is they're going to be sticking with the same form factor as the A1 and the A1 Pro, which, you know, it has its pros, it has its cons. Like the A1 was a very comfortable device. I did really like it as far as like the actual feel of the device. But the controllers, like the D-pad specifically, wasn't very good. But apparently they're going to be doing some improvements to the controller as well as the speakers. So we'll have to see if they've fixed that since then. I also have a review unit that's going to be coming very shortly. It doesn't have those improvements on it apparently, so it's not going to have the improved controller or the speaker, but I can at least test out the device and share my thoughts. So stay tuned for that. When I get the review unit, I'll let you guys know what I think of it and probably just do something like a first hands-on review. Next up is the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal, which we just had a few days ago. We got to know that the release date's going to be on June 5th. Pre-orders are going live on the 9th, everywhere except for the USA, which we'll touch on in a second. And we also got to see a number of third-party games as well as first-party games. Some of the first-party games that we saw were actually kind of cool. Like they had a new Donkey Kong game called Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think that was the name of it. Looks like Mario Odyssey, except the environment is destructible and you pretty much just kind of punch your way through everything. So that's one that I might actually pick up. I really did like Mario Odyssey, and if this is similar to that, I'd probably have a good time with this. There's Mario Kart World, which looks to be quite a bit different than Mario Kart 8. The environment seems to be very open world, kind of like Forza Horizon, if I had to compare it to something. And yeah, you have like race modes where you can actually travel the entire world, where it's like an elimination. You start off in 24 player, and every checkpoint I think they eliminate one. So looks very neat. I'm excited to try that one. My wife and I probably gonna play that one a bit. And they also had a number of third-party games, and this is where I was actually kind of impressed. And maybe it's not as impressive as I feel, but for me, I'm so used to the regular Nintendo Switch that often, you don't think of third-party AAA games. But now it looks like we can. So we have Cyberpunk that's going to be making the jump. We have Elden Ring, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake. There's also going to be a new game that's exclusive to the Switch 2 from FromSoft, which is called Duskbloods, which looked pretty impressive, and I'm sure some poor kid that gets one for Christmas is going to be opened up to the world of Soul games and what kind of challenge they bring. They didn't specifically talk about the price at the event, but we did see that on the website, and it seems like the Switch was originally planned to be going for $450 USD. However, that seems to have changed. Due to the tariff situation, the pre-orders are actually delayed specifically in the US. So April 9th, you can still purchase in Canada, Australia, Europe, pretty much anywhere in the world, you can still pre-order on the 9th, except for the US. That one's going to be delayed a bit. We don't know by how much. But yeah, this is actually the first time that we've seen this new tariff situation that we're in actually have an impact on the game industry, and in such a major way. So whether we're going to see a $100 price increase in the US, whether we're going to see $50, or maybe there's going to be some kind of exception that can be made, I really don't know. But this is the first major thing that we've seen impact the gaming industry due to these tariffs. Now, my fear is that this is going to be kind of across the board. We're going to get this with other handhelds, like let's say the ROG Ally 2, the Legion Go 2, any new devices from MSI, and especially devices that are coming from China. Are we going to see major spikes in the price for the USA? And what kind of impact is that going to have on other countries as well? Because if the price from a major market like the US increases, there's likely going to be some compensation in other markets. Now, I don't want to get super political on the channel, but let's hope that these tariff situations can be resolved soon. Obviously, the less tariffs that we have, the better, because then we get more affordable devices, and I don't have to bankrupt myself buying handhelds to do reviews on the channel. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts on that. Let's keep it polite in the comments if we're going to talk anything politics, but let me know if this is something that you're worried about with the tariffs, or even just the Nintendo Switch 2. Is this something that you're going to pick up as well? And let's talk about it in the comments. And one last thing, I did also post a poll on whether you guys were interested in me comparing the Nintendo Switch 2 to some of the handheld PCs that I have, and it seems like the majority are in favor of that, so I'm going to be picking one up. And yeah, I'll do some comparisons versus like the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, Legion Go, and if there's another device you'd like me to compare it to, just let me know in the comments. Next, we have two new APUs that are planned for what I would assume is going to be in the next ROG devices, and these are coming from AMD. So these two new APUs, they seem to be called the Z2 Extreme AI as well as the Z2A. We don't have a ton of information. This is basically a rumor at this point that we're seeing from videocards.com that is actually referencing a tweet that basically put out a list of all the Z series APUs that are coming. So I'm assuming that the Z2 Extreme AI is going to be the next chip that we're probably going to see in the ROG Ally 2, or possibly this new Xbox handheld that we keep hearing about, if they're not the same device. It sounds like it's just going to be the Z2 Extreme, except with the NPU added in. I'm not sure why they wouldn't go with the HX370 at that point, but anyway, it seems to be a custom chip that will likely go into the next ASUS device. We also have the Z2A. There wasn't really any information on that one. Possibly it's a lower powered chip that we're going to see that would maybe be the next Xbox one, or I really doubt that it would be the ROG Ally 2, but we'll have to see. Anyway, these are rumors. We don't have any like concrete evidence. I'll leave a link in the description to the article because I'm sure they're going to update it as they learn more. So take a look at it, see if you see any updates that are new after this video comes out. But yeah, we'll have to wait to see. I'm sure ASUS is going to be announcing more information very soon because we did get that teaser that I talked about last week. And hopefully we can find out what exactly is the use of the AI features. And then the other exciting thing is if they're going to be using AI features for the Z2 Extreme with the AI, will that impact some gaming for devices with the HX370 that also have AI features, or even the 8840? Anyway, I'm just speculating at this point. We'll have to see what comes next for that. This week's product highlight is the APUs C8, which is a multi-device compatible controller. Works on your Nintendo Switch, Android, iOS, Windows, and Mac. Although with Windows you do need to use a USB-A dongle that would be stored at the bottom here. So yeah, just keep that in mind for Windows. What we get in the box though, let's start with that. So you have your instruction manual, which you want to make sure to hold on to so you know exactly what to do to switch between the modes. You have your USB-A to USB-C cord. You have two joystick caps here that you can actually switch out so that they're a little bit longer. And then of course you have your controller and the charging stand. So the nice thing about the charging stand is you can just plug it into USB-C, place your controller back in the stand, and it'll charge when you're not playing. Onto the controller itself though. Really comfortable. It's an Xbox style controller, which is I've always liked. The buttons, the nice thing is they're actually illuminated here. So if you have them in the dark, they're lit up so you'll be able to see. They're membrane based, so very similar to an Xbox controller. Which is a good thing. They feel comfortable. Joysticks are super comfy because they have these metal rings that make it feel very smooth. And overall, the grips are quite soft, which is very grippy. The D-pad feels a little bit tight. It's not my favorite, but in practice, when I was actually playing, it worked perfectly fine. Had no issues.
You got these two programmable buttons here that you can set to be different functions. They're not super accessible, so just make sure that it's not something that you're going to need in the middle of a game. You have this name tag here that you can change out, kind of like the 1X Fly. Right now mine just says Absolute, but you can change that to be your gamer tag. Hall effect joysticks, Hall effect triggers, which is nice, so don't worry about drift. The bumpers are really nice, very clicky. It's micro switches. And the triggers have nice tension. So overall, a pretty decent controller. If you're looking for something to play on PC, just keep in mind that you're going to need to plug in the USB-A port dongle. So you're probably going to need to be playing while docked. Now, for a handheld, if you're using a controller, most likely that's going to be your use case anyway. If you're interested in checking this out, I'll leave a link in the description. You can check it out, and if I can get a coupon code, I'll also put that there as well. Thank you to Absolute for sending this out for me to test. No money exchanged hands, but they did provide the controller for me to test for everyone.
Next is the MSi Claw 8, and this is a device that if you've been looking to purchase one or just even out of curiosity checked for it, it has been infamously hard to find. So currently, as of the time of recording, if you check out Best Buy USA or even Best Buy Canada, you just can't get it. In Canada, you can back order it and it ships usually like within a month or two. In the USA, it still says coming soon. So it seems like the stock situation has not gotten better for the Claw 8. So if you guys know of a place that you're able to purchase one, let me know in the comments. I've still been considering whether I'm going to pick one up for the channel to do some testing, but yeah, let me know what your experiences are. If this was one that you did pick up, or if you're looking to pick one up, what kind of luck you've had finding one. And lastly, we have our Steam Deck updates. There's not a lot really to cover. Like, a lot of the updates were really just general bug fixes. We had some fixes to Steam input, kind of just the usual. Nothing that was really, I guess, super noteworthy, but if you're curious to see these updates a little bit closer, check the video description. I'm going to leave a link there, and you can look at the more specific updates. Yeah, so that's going to wrap it up for this week's recap. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.